and we're going to talk about breakout rooms. So breakout rooms I love, love, love. What is a breakout room exactly? A breakout room is a way for you to make some collaborative sessions so the students can work in small groups. When you make a breakout room, you can name it whatever you want, and you can have as many breakout rooms as you want. You have the ability to allow students to move from breakout room to breakout room if you want to. However, that is not the default. The default is that once you put your students in a breakout room, they can't move. So you actually have to move them to the breakout room and move them back to the main room. So different scenarios would warrant different permissions. So the default permission is that students cannot move themselves, but you can allow students to move if you want to. So think back to what I was telling you about. I could create several breakout rooms and open up a web tour in each breakout room, and then allow students to have a little fun time moving from breakout room to breakout room, whichever one they wanted to visit. In that case, then you may want to make it so that students can move themselves. However, there might be a case where I want specifically Marie and Michelle and Simone to work together in one room. Then I want Susan, Gordon, and Corey to work in another room. So I may want to specifically have you in a room for a specific reason. And so if that's the case, I don't want you to be able to move to another room. So the breakout rooms have the same functionality that the main room has. So you have your full set of whiteboard tools in the breakout room. You also have your own private chat area in the breakout room. You have your own ability or your own private talk session in the breakout room and your own video. So anybody who is in the room with you can use all of those tools with you, and whatever happens in your room is completely private to whatever happens in another room. So we have a saying here at Blackboard Collaborate: what happens in the breakout room stays in the breakout room, kind of like Vegas. If you're familiar with Vegas, it's a kind of a saying here. So anyway, let's talk about how to create a breakout room. There are a couple of different ways that we can do it. First of all, I want you guys to just watch for now, because the breakout rooms have to be created by moderators, and right now you guys are participants. So I do plan to make you all moderators, but I want you to experience the breakout rooms as a participant first. So you are going to be creating your own breakout room, so be thinking of a creative name for your breakout room. I usually call mine Sherry Shack, so be thinking what you're going to call yours. Now to create a breakout room, I can either go to the Tools menu at the top of the screen, select Breakout Rooms, Create Breakout Rooms, or my favorite way is to simply go to the Options menu, which is in the Participants panel, and select Create Breakout Room. Once I do that, I'm going to get this menu. This menu is used for two purposes. I can use this menu to auto-distribute students, or I can use this menu to manually distribute students. So let's pretend for a second that there are 100 people in our class today, and I want you all to work in groups of 7 to go work on a budget. Okay, so I may need to put you in groups of 7. First of all, that would require me to do a little math. I'd have to divide 7 into 100, figure out how many rooms I need, and then somehow get you all into the room. Well, in that case, if I didn't care who was randomly placed in the room, then I would use auto distribute. Okay, but again, if I wanted Chris and Angela and Gordon to work in a room, the auto-distribute way is not the way to go, because I would need to manually create the room and then manually move the students, the 3 students that I wanted in that room. So let's first look at the auto-distribute way. So I would use this menu to have Blackboard Collaborate do all the work for me. I could customize the name of the room. However many rooms that Blackboard Collaborate is going to make for me, it's just going to be appended with a number. Okay, I have some decisions. If I want my group of 100 divided into 32 rooms, then I could say however many rooms I wanted. If I wanted my group of 100 divided into 7 people within the room, then I could make that decision. So I could either choose how many rooms I want or how many people I want in the rooms. So once I make my decisions, I hit create, and boom, Blackboard Collaborate creates the room for me and automatically distributes the people based on what I've specified. Now, let me show you what it looks like when you are sent to a room. You're going to get this little pop-up that tells you that you've been moved to a room. You'll know what room you're in because you'll see the name of the room in your participants panel, plus you'll find your name and you'll see the name of that room there. You can also see who else is there with you. If you want to see all the other rooms, you can do that by opening up the little collapse button right there, and you can see all the rooms if you want to. Now what I'm going to do is actually send you to a breakout room and let you work on a very important project with a partner, because there's a couple of things that I want you to do. I want you to go into the room and I want you to look around and see that it has the same looks and feels exactly like the room we're in now, which is the main room. Okay? When you get to your room, you're going to work on Mr. Potato Head. So you're going to use your whiteboard toolbar to give Mr. Potato Head eyes, ears, nose, and mouth. Hair, you can even open up the clip art gallery and add whatever is in the clip art gallery to Mr. Potato Head. The other thing that I want you to do is to turn on your audio. I do have the settings set so that we have multiple talkers on, and I can also set it so that we have multiple video cameras on if you would like to turn on your video camera as well. Let me go in there and set that up. Just one second. Okay, so everybody can turn on their video, everybody can talk, and everybody can use your whiteboard tools. So off you go. I'm going to give you about 3 minutes to work on this very important task, and then I'm going to bring you all back and we're going to talk about it, and then I'm going to let you create your own room. I'm going to review the steps and let you create your own room. So just one second. Let me go ahead and move you to the room. I'm going to call it the LearnNowBC Lab. Okay, I'm going to put you into groups of 2, and if there's one spare person down at the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and drag and drop them to where in a group of 3. Okay, so off you go. Have fun. Don't forget to turn on your audio and your camera if you want to, and wait just a second or 2, and I'll get Mr. Potato Head in your room. All right, I went ahead and brought you all back to the main room, and I did take a picture of what I saw because I wanted you to see what hard workers you are. Raheem and I are in the main room, but we could monitor what you guys were doing. I could see that you are all actively participating because I could see that you were talking to each other. Some of you even had your cameras on. Some of you were working on the whiteboard. Even though you weren't talking to each other, you guys were still actively engaged. Now, if I saw somebody that wasn't doing anything and maybe had a little bit of some issues, then I would, of course, jump down to their room. Now, I've got a lot to tell you about breakout rooms. So, Corey, let me go through the breakout rooms, and then I will come back to you guys and take your questions. So if you have a question right now, jot it down. But let me get through the whole breakout room scenarios because I'm sure that I will probably cover it. Now, what I'm going to do is go ahead and copy your work. And then I'm going to tell you how I'm doing all of this. So basically what I'm doing now is I'm collecting all of your work from the breakout rooms, and now we're going to go in and take a look at it. This came from Lab Room 1, Lab Room 2, Lab Room 3, Lab Room 4, Lab Room 5, nice use of clip art, Lab Room 6, and I think that's it. So good job with your work. Excellent job. You guys should give yourselves a big round of virtual applause. Now, let me tell you what I was doing while you guys were busy working in the breakout room. I'm going to move this over so you could take a look. In fact, I'll get rid of it so you can see exactly what it looks like from the moderator view. So as a participant, you saw the name of your room. You were working in your room. Whoever you were with, you were communicating privately and working privately with that student. The rest of the rooms couldn't hear or see what you were doing with your partner. Okay? As the moderator, I actually have the addition of this, is what I call the magic button. This button I absolutely love, and this button will appear when breakout rooms are created. Okay? So when breakout rooms are created, the moderator will get this button. This is how I very easily returned you to the main room. Now, if I wanted you to go back and continue working in the same room with the same partner, I'm really not that smart to remember, so I could use the magic button to get you all back to the same room, because luckily for me, Blackboard Collaborate will remember what room you were in and who you were with. This is also how I very easily copied all of your work from the breakout rooms, and I brought them to the main room so that we could now debrief on all your important work. And then finally, I could use this button to close the breakout rooms, which is what I just did, because now I'm going to let you guys create your own room. Now I'm going to review the steps, but before I review the steps, I want to teach you how to move from room to room. Now this is the manual way. You just saw the automatic way. Now we're going to learn the manual way. So once I teach you how to create your room and you've created your room, then I want you to move to your room. So how are you going to move? One way to do it is to find your name and click on your name and just drag and drop yourself to the room of your choice. I will tell you, with 14 people in the room, it will probably get a little tricky, you trying to move yourself that way. So another way to move is to simply right-click on your name or go to your options menu, your own personal options menu, and go to where it says Send to Breakout Room. You'll be able to find your room and move yourself that way. When I tell you to come back to the main room, you're going to do the same process. Either right-click on your name or go to your own options menu and select Send to Breakout Room and select Main Room. Okay? So I want you to create a breakout room, and I want you to visit your breakout room. Once you've gone to your room, go ahead and practice going to another room. Now let's go and review how to create a breakout room. First of all, you need to be a moderator. So I'm going to do that. And just to remind you, just like on Tuesday, I'm going to ask that you guys try not to click up here, because it will become a little chaotic if we all start clicking. Okay? So I'm going to make you all a moderator, give you moderator privileges. You're all now moderators. So you're going to go to either the Tools menu, or you're going to go to the Global Options menu and select Create Breakout Rooms. Now when you get to this menu, don't jump ahead, don't hit Create yet, because I need to give you some specific instructions. First of all, I want you to give your room name a name. So go ahead and get rid of the default word room, and go ahead and add the name of your room. Then I want you to change the 4 to a 1. If you don't change the default of 4 to a 1, you're going to be making 4 of your rooms, and I only want you to make 1 of your rooms. Okay? Then I want you to select Don't Move Participants and go ahead and hit Create. Once you do that, you can start seeing all the breakout rooms are created. If you scroll to the bottom of our list there, you will see the names of the breakout rooms starting to populate there. So we have Chris Room, we have Desk Circle, we have the Yummy Bar. I'm going to the Yummy Bar. That sounds like the best room so far. So go ahead and create your room, and then go ahead and move yourself to your room, and then go ahead and visit somebody else's room if you'd like. Hey Gordon, I went ahead and brought you back to the main room because you missed a step. You actually right-clicked and you selected Send to New Private Breakout Room. That's not the way that I want you to move. I want you to first go to Tools or the participants window and click on the options menu and select create breakout room. You did not create your breakout room yet. So first create your breakout room and then move yourself. And let's see, I had another question. Hold on just a second. Looking for your question, just one sec. Where do you create the breakout room? So you're going to create the breakout room under the options menu. Let me go back. So under the options menu where it says participants, just select create breakout rooms. You can also find it under tools as well. So create your breakout room and then you can go ahead and move yourself to the room. Now if you can still hear me talk, that means you have not moved to your room yet. So if you need some help, feel free to come on the microphone and ask me if you need some help. So to move yourself, just right click on your name and then you can send yourself to the breakout room. You can even drag and drop yourself as well. So you can click on your name and then drag and drop yourself to the room. Okay, so folks are starting to come back to the main room. Let me go ahead and send a message. Good job, Susan and Gordon and Angela and Chris. Excellent job getting yourselves back. Way to go, Simone. And we're just waiting on a few more now. Remember, I can use the magic button. If you guys haven't looked at the magic button, feel free to do that. Notice now that you are moderators to the right of the polling tool. You see a little button that says Main Room. Do take a look at all the options that you have there. Down towards the bottom, I do have the option to return everyone to the main room. So I'm going to go ahead and use that option. All right, I've got everybody back in the main room now. So let me go back and just review the option that you have now as a moderator. This is how you can return everybody back to the main room. And you can also use this option to close all the breakout rooms. So I'll let the first person who goes to the main room button select close all breakout rooms. I'll let you have the honor of closing the rooms. All right, and Simone just got booted down to a participant, so if somebody wants to promote Simone to a moderator, that would be great. Let's see who can remember that. All right, so a couple of things. You can allow students to move themselves by going to the Tools menu, select Breakout Room, and then select Allow Participants to Move Themselves. Remember, the default is that you cannot, they cannot move themselves. So Leanne, we covered that on Tuesday, but that's a good question. Let me just remind you guys how I was sending you, let me get rid of all this stuff. How was I sending you guys that announcement? So just to refresh your memory, remember this is the announcement tool, send announcement. And this little thing right here, I'm glad you asked that question, Leanne, because this little thing right here is something that you're going to want to check if you have breakout rooms, because that will send the announcement to everyone. Okay? So that's how I was getting out that announcement. It's always a good idea to send the announcement out, you know, just to tell folks to go ahead and wrap it up. So we've already talked about managing rooms. When you're not in the same room with folks, you want to watch the icons that appear next to their name. Look how sad room 3 is. Amanda, the moderator, will want to visit each room just like you would in a physical classroom. You'd kind of move from group to group and listen in to see what they were doing. But Amanda would definitely want to jump down to room 3 first, just because they're not talking to each other, they're not really doing anything, and Sabrina here is on a delay. So she is going to want to check in, but definitely go to room 3 first. Managing whiteboards. So the magic button is pretty much just about everything you need, but what if you just want the work from room 1? Notice the options menu there will allow you to copy the whiteboards to the main room just from that room only. And you also have some other additional options. If you go through the Tools menu, go to Whiteboard. It gives you a few more options there as well.
Hi Sherry, it's Susan here. I had a virtual class this morning with my group of grade 6 and 7s, and they really love to ask questions in the text chat rather than come on to the audio. So I too was trying to convince them to talk so we could hear their voices.
You know what, and that's the beauty of this platform. There are many ways to collaborate in this platform, and I usually let folks do it the way that they want to. I invite them to come on the microphone, but if they prefer to chat, that's okay too. So you do have those that you can't get off the audio, right? You probably have those as well. So they'll slowly come out of their shell. You know, one thing that I used to do, Susan, is have a social day. So we would do a little thing called Freaky Fridays. It was totally a review. I would set up breakout rooms and do web tours and have different whiteboard activities in each one of the rooms. But in addition to that, it would be free time where they could come on the microphone, talk to each other, and I would have them give them full reign of the whiteboard. In fact, I might even say, okay, collage time. I want us all to use the whiteboard tools and draw a picture of your favorite vacation spot. Let's all collaborate. So I would have some kids drawing palm trees, some kids drawing mountains, and we would have a beautiful picture created. So the social events, I think, really help a lot for them to learn to be more comfortable on the microphone instead of kind of putting them on the spot in an academic setting. It kind of gets them used to it. And yes, I had a hard time getting on the microphone too, so I get it. But, you know, kind of getting them into it through the social events always helps.